What does glute activation look like? Ruby, what does glute activation look like?
Glute activation can mean different things to different people. It can also look very different. First, you want to be able to activate your glutes efficiently and properly to then be able to strengthen them. Having strong glutes is super important for a very strong and stable pelvis, or what we would call pelvic stability. Pelvic stability is very important to have a strong and stable pelvis, in addition to providing a strong foundation of support for the rest of the spine. This includes the lower back, the middle back, the neck, and even the shoulders. It's also important to have a really strong and stable pelvis in order for force transmission with high impact activity such as running, jumping, skipping, etc. Today we're going to cover some simple activation exercises for the glutes that are often prescribed to people. These activation exercises can also be performed very poorly and hence seemingly don't work for that person. Performing these activation exercises efficiently will activate the glutes. It's just about finding the right activation exercise for you. So we suggest trying all of these activation exercises and seeing which ones can get your glutes firing the most.
To perform the side lying clam, ensure that your shoulders and hips are stacked. Pressing yourself up against a wall will help to ensure that your shoulders and hips remain stacked. This is vital to ensure that you activate the glutes and you're not rolling back too far, as shown in the next images. This is a common mistake that overlooks the activation of the glutes. Ensure you drive forward through the top hip as you then bring the top knee back. You should feel the activation through the side and back of the hip. To incorporate glute activation into your activities of daily living, performing a hip hinge is vital. Ensure that your weight is stacked over the heels rather than over the balls of the feet. Be sure to not round through the spine and keep your chest fairly upright. You also want to think about keeping the knees behind the toes. Look at me brush my teeth here, hip hinging over the basin. This is a perfect way to incorporate your glute activation into your day. Glute sliders are a great progression from your simple hip hinge position. Pour your weight over the single leg, ensuring that your weight stays over your heel. Start to then slide the opposite leg back behind you. It's important to note that you will feel the activation through the stance leg in this exercise. You can feel some activation through the dynamic leg as you extend the hip right back behind you. Lie on your side with your shoulders and hips stacked. Have both heels firmly pressing against the wall. As you slide the top leg up, ensure you press the heel into the wall. As you can see here, as I take the leg up, I lose the activation or the specific nature of the activation exercise through the hip. Ensure you lengthen through the top leg as you press the heel into the wall. You can also access different fibers of the glutes by outwardly turning from the hip. Think about spiraling outwards through the thigh as you press the heel into the wall.